Yeah, I get that feeling. That quiet panic in the back of your head. It doesn't even yell, it just kind of sits there, pressing on everything. You're not where you thought you'd be. Everyone else seems like they're moving forward. New jobs, relationships, hitting goals. And you're just stuck, watching it happen, scrolling through it, pretending it doesn't bother you, but it does. You start asking yourself questions you don't really want answers to. Like, when did I fall behind? Or was there a moment I missed something important? And the worst one, what's wrong with me? It's not always loud. Sometimes it's just in the way you wake up, or how your heart sinks a little when someone asks what you're working on lately, or the way you suddenly feel small when you see someone younger than you doing something amazing. That feeling, it's not about jealousy. It's not about laziness. It's not even really about other people. It's about this quiet grief for the life you thought you'd have by now, for the version of you that was supposed to exist already. And it's hard to talk about that because no one wants to admit they feel left behind. But if you do, I just want to say, same. I've had weeks, sometimes whole months, where I just coast, not in a peaceful way, more like I'm underwater. I show up, I go through the motions, but I'm not moving, not inside. I see other people pushing ahead like they've figured something out that I must have missed. And that makes it worse, because then I start pretending I'm okay, just so I don't look like I'm drowning. But I am, quietly. I think what makes it so hard is that falling behind doesn't look dramatic. It's not this big failure moment. It's subtle. You skip a day, you let one thing slide, you say, I'll do it tomorrow a few too many times, and then suddenly you don't recognize your own pace anymore. You're out of rhythm with yourself. Everyone else is running, or at least it looks that way, and you feel like you're limping behind, hoping no one notices. There was this one night, I remember it weirdly clearly. I was sitting on the floor of my room, lights off, just scrolling. I'd been telling myself I'd get started on some project that day, something I cared about, but I didn't. Again. And I remember thinking, how many days am I going to let this happen before I admit I'm lost? Not lazy, not broken, just lost. It scared me. Not because I wasn't doing anything, but because it started to feel normal. Like I was quietly giving up on myself in these small, polite ways. No one could see it, but I could feel it. And I didn't know how to talk about it, because what do you even say? Hey, I feel like my life is slipping away one quiet day at a time. That's not a conversation people are used to having. But maybe we should be. Because falling behind isn't just about career stuff or school or money. It's emotional too. It's waking up and not feeling like you. It's feeling disconnected from the parts of yourself that used to feel alive. And the longer that goes on, the harder it gets to imagine getting back to them. I started thinking maybe the real pain of falling behind isn't about other people passing you. It's about the version of you that could have been, the one you thought you'd be by now, and the quiet ache of not knowing how to reach them anymore. But here's the thing I started realizing, and I don't mean this like some kind of answer, just something that started to change the way I look at it. Falling behind assumes there's a race, that there's some track we're all on, and if you're not ahead, you're losing. But life doesn't really work like that. No one's holding a stopwatch on your growth. No one's really ahead. They're just on a different stretch of the road. And a lot of them are just as scared as you are. They just don't show it. There's this weird pressure to constantly be progressing. Like if you're not getting somewhere, you're wasting time. But not every season of your life is meant to be productive. Some are meant to be healing. Some are just meant to be still. And yeah, it sucks to feel like you're in one of those when everyone else is thriving. But what if where you are right now isn't wrong? What if it's just part of the path, even if it looks nothing like you thought it would? I started doing this small thing, barely even worth calling a change, but it helped. I started checking in with myself like I would a friend, not to judge, just to notice. I'd ask myself, where does it hurt today? Not in a dramatic way, just like gently. And sometimes the answer was simple. I feel behind. I feel unseen. I feel like nothing I do matters. It was weird at first, but eventually it gave me permission to stop pretending I was fine. And in those quiet moments, I could start figuring out what I actually needed. Not what would fix everything, just what would help me feel a little more human that day. Sometimes it was just drinking water. Sometimes it was texting someone I missed. Sometimes it was cleaning one corner of my room. Not the whole thing, just one corner. Something I could finish, something that gave me back even the smallest piece of momentum, because that's the thing about falling behind. It's not always a dramatic leap forward that pulls you out of it. It's these small moments where you say, okay, just this one thing today, and then again tomorrow, and the next day. I remember one morning after weeks of feeling like I was disappearing, I went outside and just sat in the sun, no music, no phone, just sat there. And I don't know why, but I started crying, not like sobbing, just soft, quiet, and it wasn't even about anything specific. I think it was just this release, like part of me remembered what it felt like to be in my life again, not performing it, not scrolling through it, just being in it. It didn't fix everything, but it helped me start caring again. And I think that's really the turning point. Not when you have a plan, not when you get motivated, just when you start caring again, even a little. Caring enough to ask yourself, what do I need today? Caring enough to say, I don't want to feel this way forever. That's not weakness. That's the beginning of coming back to yourself. And I get it. It still hurts to feel behind. Even now, I still get caught in it. I'll see people achieving things I dream about, and part of me just crumbles a little. Not because I don't want them to succeed, but because I'm scared I never will. But you know what I try to tell myself in those moments? You're not late, you're healing. And healing doesn't follow a calendar. It doesn't show up on LinkedIn. It doesn't get applause, but it matters. And it counts, even when it's invisible. Maybe no one sees the courage it takes to get out of bed on the days your soul feels heavy, or the strength it takes to keep showing up to a life you're not sure you believe in anymore. But I see it. And if you're here, listening to this, I think some part of you still wants to believe in yourself too. Even if it feels far away right now. You haven't missed your shot. You're not running out of time, and even if no one else tells you this, I will. You're allowed to be exactly where you are, and you're allowed to grow from here. I believe in you. Now believe in yourself.